Alrighty, let's get to the meat and potatoes. I haven't talked about this because I don't know how this situation is going to play out. I don't know exactly what's going on. We here to talk about the Joe Budden, Melyssa Ford, not appearing on the podcast situation. What's up, what's happening? Big KB's in this thing. K ate two gutter. He sleep with a cutter up a ton. You know the big dog on the ton. Now, if you haven't been paying attention, and shout out to The Stop, shout out Danny. Him and other channels have been covering, like, you know, the absence of Melyssa Ford. And she's basically been gone since, like, late August, like August 21st or something like that. And she's been gone. We don't know if she's coming back. Apparently, there's like she was named in the lawsuit that, remember when Joe was running around in the nude to his neighbors? Apparently, they try to have some other lawsuit or whatever have you, and they named her in it as like, yo, she was on intimidation or whatever the fuck. So that could also be a reason she's not really over there as well. But again, with the addition of Mona, Don't Call Me White Girl, to the pod showing up once a week, and she's entertaining. She kind of like the female Flip, I ain't gonna lie. Or the energy they bring reminds me of Flip, or the energy she brings, so they kind of like one in the same a little bit. Not exactly, but a little bit. But with that even being said, what was I really gonna say? Fuck. Yeah, it's like, where is Melyssa for? We seen the picture, or like she was in the hospital or whatever have you, or maybe she was getting like a surgery or an operation done, and we really don't know what's going on. We all know she has her own podcast, the Menopod. You know what I'm saying? Or Hot and Bothered with Melyssa Ford, you know what I'm saying? She has her little thing going on. And basically, we're perplexed and confused what's happening with the situation now. Melyssa Ford has left beforehand to go shoot her little movies, or like, was it Lifetime or whatever? Well, not little movies. It's still an accomplishment to be in a movie. So I ain't going to disrespect her. To shoot her movies with Lifetime and stuff like that. I believe it's Lifetime. But anyways, doing her own thing, you know what I'm saying? And even with that being said, she has came back. You know, she'll take a little hiatus, or she'll go on a vacation, mental leave, or whatever have you, and she would come back. But again, with people bringing up some stuff and maybe some tensions with her and the cast and stuff, and this longer hiatus than usual, we like, okay, what the fuck is going on? Where the fuck is M4? Where's Mel Ford? So we gonna read this shit and check it out. Now again, I don't know if you want everything, because Danny and other channels, Danny The Stop, have been covering this. So hey, if you want like from point A to point B, he has all the coverage. Go check dude out. But I'ma just say what it is now, because apparently with her latest social media act, it suggests like she's done with the Joe Budden podcast. To be fair, if I'm going to be fair, like with some of the stuff that's been happening and some of the tension, or what it looks like tension with the podcast and stuff, and like for a long time I always like, is it her being the only woman voice? That's why with them adding one, I was like, okay, yeah, get another female voice there, or woman voice, to help combat some of the misogyny, because sometimes they do be dogpiling on her. I do agree with that. Even with that, right? But it does look like eventually, like, she was just going to not leave, but probably when her Hot and Bothered really took off, she'll probably just be doing her own thing, and she'll gracefully like exit the podcast. I even thought that would Flip as well. Gracefully, he would leave eventually, and probably the only mainstays is, of course, Joe, probably Ice-ish, Imani, Parks, and Mark. I love my, hey, Joe, you can't get rid of Mark. I ain't gonna cap. Mark is hilarious. Mark is hilarious. But anyways. Let's see what is going on. So, Melyssa Ford's latest social media act suggests she's done with the Joe Budden podcast. Let's just get into it. I've been rambling for 4 minutes already. Okay, so Melyssa Ford and the Joe Budden podcast have been on the outs for a while now. I'm not going to say that. It's the article. Anyways. And it seems like a separation has been confirmed. For months now, well, I mostly could say a month and a bit. I'm not going to say for months now, but there have been rumors that Melyssa Ford would be leaving the Joe Budden podcast. Overall, the former video vixen has been taking some time off, and her appearances on the show were few and far between. Prior to this, things between her and Joe seemed off. Her opinions were constantly being stomped on, and for the most part, she didn't look happy. So I'm still a little sick, getting over a little cold, so you're going to hear a little bit of that in my voice sound off. It is what it is. In recent weeks, the Joe Budden podcast has added Mona, aka Don't Call Me White Girl, in her spot. Not really. I think they were going to add her regardless, but regardless. Anyways, this has subsequently led led to even more speculation that she is on her way out of the podcast. Fans of the show have been looking for answers, and last week it appears as though they finally got them. Also, yeah, in the spaces, they've been asking Joe and Mark like what's going on with Shorty. I think there was like an episode of the Mark and Ian show where they were joking about like some hospital thing and people were playing up to the Melyssa Ford thing that came out. So there's been stuff going on as well. Like I said, follow Danny if you want to break of everything that was going on. Follow Danny. Melyssa Ford's Instagram fans noticed that her bio no longer features the Joe Budden Podcast and says she is simply promoting her own podcast called Hot and Bothered. While this isn't an official statement, it certainly tells us that the model has quietly exited the show's own. I'm not gonna lie. Again, I'm not saying every cast member has to have Joe Budden Podcast in their bio, but like if it was there and you seemingly took it off, it probably says something. It does probably say something. I ain't gonna lie. That is crazy. So, the Joe Budden Podcast has quite the cast these days. Apart from Joe, the aforementioned Mona Love, the podcast also consists of Ish, Ice, Amani, and of course Parks. Flip, y'all ain't mentioning my nigga Flip in here. Y'all crazy. Mark Lamont Hill. You know what I'm saying? Who else in there? They got guests. What's my nigga name? Corey in the back always laughing. Corey. I'll never get Corey get a little son out there. Like, hey, nigga. I guarantee Corey just be staying at that crib. But anyways, besides all that. Perhaps the most interesting addition to the show has been Mark Lamont Hill amongst the fan base. Lamont Hill has become an all-star of the podcast. Yes. And his stories and commentary is a notch above everyone else. Joe has yet to address Ford's departure, and with fans asking questions, one has to wonder whether or not Budden will want to venture into those waters. After all, it could very well be a sensitive topic considering how the exit was. As for Melyssa Ford, she remains someone that the fans want to hear from. Furthermore, her relevance is still very much prevalent as rappers like Drake continue to mention her in their music. See, this is my thing. I feel like even if she did leave, let's just say she's out the door, because of the Rory and Mal situation, I feel like Joe's not going to handle it as crazy as how it was last time. So he's handling it with a little bit more coof, a little bit more tact, if you will, than before. And again, I don't know exactly how that went down. Again, we don't know exactly if she left or not. We don't know. But it is weird. Now, yes, her taking Joe Budden Podcast out the bio, yes, it's like, oh, what's going on? She could be playing into it, but it's like, okay, you ain't fucking with them losing no more. And like I said, they do a dog pile on her a little bit. I could see her getting frustrated sometimes on the show. So it is what it is at the end of the day. Again, so if she is gone, I'm not surprised. And the way they're being a little secretive about it, I do feel like something's going on. Now, I'm not the speculation king about this stuff, but also I don't know if her contract is up or whatever else, because they do be signing contracts. I know they just look like the best of friends, but it is a business. They do be signing contracts, so I don't know how the fuck that works and how the off time works and this and that and that and this. So it is one of them situations where it's just like, if she's gone, she's gone. She had a quiet exit and it was what it was. But again, I don't know. Maybe one day Joe and them will just be like, hey, yo, she been gone. It was what it was. Or she might just come back like, hey, yo, I'm back. What's up? What's happening? So we'll see exactly what goes on. But hey, this is adding a little bit more fuel to the fire. So we'll see eventually if they do talk about it. We'll see Melyssa Ford when she comes back with her podcast. She does talk about it. Because I feel like she's going to do a Julian deal. Remember when Julian started his own podcast? He's like, fuck, I'm going to tell it all. I feel like she might just be like, yo, fuck it. I don't know if Joe make them sign NDAs, but what's the God? She gonna be like, yeah, I left them niggas. It was what it was. I left because of A, B, C, and D. You know what I'm saying? So we'll see exactly what's going on with the situation. So anyways, what do y'all think? Comments down below, links in the description. Besides that, it's your friendly neighborhood cat A signing out for today. The Blade TJ did while they're doing this thing. My name ring bells like Quasimodo. Hit like, subscribe. You trying to hit a little bit more to your arm. And I'm gone. Slams on peace, y'all. Aye.